Hello, welcome to McDonald's Sessions. Today I'm here with Lee and we're going to talk about his running and whatever else we decide to talk about.
Okay, well thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, so I am here with Lee and we are going to talk all about your running and then we're going to talk a little about music too. So I'm so excited. So let's go all the way back to high school. Were you a runner in high school?
I'd like to cover that ground in this fashion.
Okay.
I was asked to be the cross-country coach at William Jewell College.
Okay.
And the information person from the athletics department asked me how many letters I'd won in high school. And I said, well, I played football 4 years and never lettered.
Okay.
I went out for track, I never lettered.
Yeah.
I played 1 year of college football and never lettered.
Yeah.
And then the interviewer said, this is more difficult than I thought it was going to be, because in the program they tell all of the accolades about the athletic coaches.
Yeah.
But I was not a very good athlete. I loved it, but I just didn't have the speed or talent to do it. But I relished those days.
Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to William Chrisman in Independence, Missouri. And then Central Methodist.
Yeah.
And then I went to Tulsa University for a master's in clinical psychology, and then Colorado State for a PhD in psychology. I taught psychology at William Jewell and loved coaching there as well.
Okay.
This coming Saturday will be my 600th race. I am not compulsive. In my work, I traveled a great deal.
Yeah.
And running does not require that you have a net or a club or a racket or someone else, and that was my therapy. I've had the good fortune of running in all of the states, 3 Hawaiian islands. I ran in Germany. I lived in England, taught there, and got to run there. Running has been a very significant part of my life. It's a great therapy. My wife, Judy, ran with me. Currently, I get to run with great-grandchildren. Wow. A great-granddaughter, a great-grandson, a grandson, a granddaughter, nephews, great-nephews. Yeah. It's a great family thing to do. My legacy is probably going to be, as far as running is concerned, how slow I am. I've done 11 marathons. Yeah. I went to the St. George Marathon in Utah in an attempt to qualify for the Boston.
Right.
I just missed qualifying.
You're not that slow then.
By 1 hour and 48 minutes. So you get the feeling. Yeah. Another race, I recently, when I finished, I went over where they give the awards. Yeah. And they said you won 3rd place in the 80 and over division. And I thought, that's great that so many 80-year-olds are running. Yeah. I got home and they send you the top 3 in every age division. And when I got to 80 and over, I was the only one. But those at the table probably thought anyone as slow as I am does not deserve to have 1st or 2nd place.
Anytime I get an age group award, it's usually like 3rd place, and that's out of 3.
Yeah.
So I understand.
I often win 1st place, out of 1. But then
still
I
first
got
place.
3rd place out of 1.
So how did you actually? So you said you played football. How did you get from football to running? Like how did that happen?
After football, I kept eating like I was playing football.
Yeah.
And when I came to William Jewell in '68, the daily schedule was such that the faculty and staff had a 2-hour period at noon, and we played noontime basketball.
Yeah.
And one of my friends said, we've got to get in shape. So we started running, and that's how it evolved.
And that running around the college there had to help you too, because it is so hilly. Like right there, it is really hilly.
We once organized a 15K run in Liberty, and in Sunday's paper, a running club said the Liberty route is the most difficult in Kansas City, and that we had the ugliest t-shirts. We did have.
I would agree with Liberty is really tough to run. I mean, like Hospital Hill, people will say is hard, but I think Liberty's tougher because it's just more hills.
There is a theory that running hills can make you faster.
Yeah.
But running faster doesn't help you run hills.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if you, I'm just going to ask you this weird question. If you were recruiting a cross-country runner and you asked them if they lettered in high school, what would you say? And they said that they hadn't.
I'd say, welcome aboard. 1 year at Jewell, the women's team only had 4 members, so we couldn't win conference.
Yeah.
And I persuaded a psychology major who had never run before to join the team. She came in dead last in every race. Yet, if it weren't for her, we never could have won conference.
Yeah.
So I'm not a speed worshiper.
Yeah.
Burfoot, a frequent elite marathon racer, said that we runners go through 3 stages. The first stage, we run for speed. Second stage, we run for distance. And the stage I'm in, we accept our limitations and simply enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice. I mean, a lot of my friends have heard me complain like that the run is hard or that it's not, I don't know. There's something wrong. Like the weather's bad, it's too hilly. But I think you're right. Just accept that whatever it is there and just keep going.
Jim Fox, who wrote one of the first books on running, attended the Independence Mayor's race and gave a lecture. And he said, if you live in the Kansas City area, the only 2 reasons to not run outside, ice and lightning. It never gets too cold to run.
Yeah.
He said if you buy a workshop mask, it converts the external temperature to 50 degrees by the time it gets to your nose.
Oh, nice.
So there's really no excuse not to run outside.
I usually will run in ice because I have those things you can put on your shoes too.
Yeah.
Those little spike things.
Yeah.
I've been in lightning, but not on purpose a few times.
Yeah.
So we were talking just a little bit about what races were like at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So you said that you didn't have race bibs at the beginning.
No.
You talk a little bit about how that was done back before race bibs.
Okay. Well, some of the earlier races, we were given popsicle sticks with numbers on them.
Yeah.
With a hole punched in the top. And then they either had a ring that they would put them on, or you yourself would take it over and put it on a nail in your age division.
Yeah.
And that's the way they kept it. But that didn't last very long. They went to bib numbers.
I guess I've never run a race where they didn't have pictures. Like, did they take pictures back then, or how did that?
No.
They didn't take anything?
No.
Do you remember a time when they first started taking pictures? Did they use like a Polaroid camera, or how were you able to get pictures before digital at all?
I don't remember anything before digital. Yeah,
I would like to say that too. I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Okay, we did a little bit of talking about how the races used to be. So when did you realize that you really wanted to run all these races? It wasn't at race one. How far in did you get till you realized this is going to be something I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
My first race was in 1969.
Yeah.
It was a chili run around Wyandotte Lake, 10K.
Yeah, I've run that.
And became a partner
Yeah.
in a counseling service. We got lost. We had our Sears and Roebuck gray sweat top and pants,
Yeah.
and a Volvo pulled in beside us. They opened the back and they had a tub of Primogetic balm,
Yeah.
and they had on these almost silk uniforms with medals. They ran with their medals, and we thought, what have we gotten into? But we got lost because we were both slow.
Yeah.
But a good memory. Good memory.
I've said this like on a ton of these videos, is the things that you remember in the race are the things that go wrong, like the bad weather, getting lost, the races that are just kind of there, like you just run and they go as you plan. They're kind of, most of the time, pretty boring. But it's the ones that you remember that are the really the problems, or even the ones that took you way much longer than you even thought it should take you. So that's awesome.
One of my fondest memories, my two late partners and I were able to do the New York City Marathon twice.
Right.
And going through the various boroughs. And I remember in one of the boroughs, there were buildings without screens on the windows, and there were women with pots and pans outside banging them for the runners.
Yeah.
And these wonderful young children handed out candy.
Oh, nice.
And then in Brooklyn, there were some Hasidic Jews in their beautiful black and long hair.
Yeah.
And this one made eye contact with me, and way down here he gave me a thumbs up. But it didn't crack a smile.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah. Is that one of your favorite races, the New York City Marathon?
Yes. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
My brother Bob and I did the first Warrior Dash.
Okay.
Have you done the Warrior Dash?
I've done, variations on that. Like there's some in Bonner Springs that they do. And was this pretty recent?
It was in 2011.
I'm pretty sure.
And two people died.
Yes.
It was 100 and something. Were you there?
Nope, but I've had other people talk about that. That said that they were at that Warrior Dash. And when they say two people died, everyone remembers.
They didn't have water.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that challenge. I like things like that.
Yeah. So have you run mostly road races or trail races?
A combination.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed both of them.
Okay.
Cameron, Missouri has a sprint triathlon where you swim 200 yards, you ride your bike 8 miles, and you run 2.1.
Yeah.
And that's fun. I did the Shawnee Mission Triathlon.
Yeah.
And that was a difficult experience because I got scratches on my stomach, my back, my head, my feet. And then you turn and you're looking right into the sun.
Right.
So I couldn't tell where to get out.
Yeah.
That was But it was fun.
Yeah.
The Cameron YMCA was.
Was that outside?
Yes, they have a wonderful aquatic center outside.
Wow.
It's 200 meters is 4 laps.
Yeah.
So,
We did. My wife and I did one when we first started running. It was indoors, and we took swimming lessons like the whole summer.
Yeah.
And then we got there. And we always had problems doing the breathing with the swimming, and then we got there, we couldn't do it, and we just did on our backs the whole time.
that counts.
Yeah, we still made it through, but it was funny. Like we got out of the water, we were dead. Two of us were dead last. I caught a bunch of people on the running and the biking, but
Yeah.
it was bad, and we were so mad because we really tried. Because without the breathing, I could really get through the water really fast. I mean, I could get all the way across with the one breath.
Right.
But then if you had to go much further,
Yeah.
dead. So you ran 12 marathons. Did you ever go past that distance?
No.
Did you ever go into ultramarathon?
No.
Smart.
And it is.
Were you ever tempted to do that?
Yes,
Yeah.
but as you know, it's quite a time investment.
Yes.
To get ready for it.
Yep.
And I was working at the time, and just chose not to do that.
Yeah. I have tried to get a lot of people to do those in these interviews because it's fun too. It is a lot of time. The race is a lot of time. The training's a lot of time, but it's really fun because it's a lot different than like a marathon. I mean, trail races, you know how different that, especially out at Waco. Like, when was the last time you ran out of Waco?
I'm sorry?
When was the last time you ran at Wyandotte County Lake?
Oh, that was the last time.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were like a regular over there.
No, I take that back. There was a high school coach that had a Jack Frost run
Okay.
at Wyandotte County Lake, yeah. But that was right around the lake. You know,
Yeah.
the original one, we started quite a distance from that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have anything against it. I just haven't had that opportunity.
I don't like all the mud, but that's a different story. So you say you've run a lot, and you're a coach. We're a cross country coach at William Jewell. What do you think? Where do you think you learned more? Just your own running, or did you learn more from your athletes?
They taught me a lot. One was to chill out.
Yeah.
You know, and not be so serious about it. They were a marvelous group of runners.
How long did you do that for?
I did that 2 years.
Okay.
And then I had a mentor from Kansas University. I never took a course from him.
Yeah.
But he said, man, in the general sense, should be required to change careers every 10 years because there's so much to do.
Right.
And I've done that, not quite. I took 15 years to make a change.
Yeah.
But it's all in the field of psychology. So, but that was a good journey too.
Yeah. So, we already kind of said that New York City was your favorite race. What's your favorite race in this area in Kansas City?
In this area, I love Liberties.
Yeah.
It's challenging. It's good to see friends along the way.
Yeah. So in the 5K, do you see your house too?
Uh-huh.
So this will come out after the Liberty, but when you run the Liberty, you run by Lee's house.
Yeah.
So he said there's going to be a lot of people cheering there. Maybe next year we'll have to point it out and say like that's where.
Well, let's keep in touch.
Okay.
I'd like that.
That sounds like a lot of fun up there. I mean, you said you run a lot with family. Are you running by yourself on Saturday, or are you running with other people?
With other people.
Okay.
Nephews, nieces, great-grandchildren.
Do they all stay with you, or do they?
They come in. They'll be at my house around 6:30.
Yeah. Do they run the race with you, or do they just?
No, they're. I say they run the race with me. I lose sight of them.
They start with you. They just,
oh yeah.
They just don't finish
oh,
with you.
They're much faster than I am.
Do you ever have anyone that you like finish with? Like, will you have someone that you'll run this whole race with on Saturday?
Probably not.
Wow. Do you like that? Do you like running by yourself?
I have spent most of my life running alone.
Yeah.
So when I traveled, I was by myself.
So I find that I solve a lot of work problems when I'm running because I run by myself most of the time too. Do you use that to kind of mentally organize your day or your work, or like what do you think about when you run, or are you thinking really about your running? Because sometimes I like to run on the road or on a paved trail, so then I can just not concentrate as much on the running as.
I wrote my dissertation on William Jewell's track.
Right. So you did do a lot of
that out. Yeah, but now I concentrate on music.
Yeah.
On music, and if there's a problem, I try to work through it.
So what's your favorite part of running? Do you like the scenery? Do you like how it makes you feel after? Like, what makes you keep coming back?
I'd say a combination. I certainly enjoy the camaraderie. I love to move. It just, as you know, it just feels good to move.
Yeah.
And the scenery. Some of the places I have run are just phenomenal. I remember near Billings, Montana, Judy drove and I got to run, and there was a hawk that followed me the whole way.
Yeah.
And I, as long as I can remember things, I think I will remember that.
That's another thing that you remember is animals that you'll see sometimes.
Yes.
We did a 50K and a dog came with us the whole way, which
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, kind of. Like, did it get back? We were just kind of worried about it the whole time, but it was it went with us for a long. I mean, it probably stayed with us 10 miles. Mm-hmm. So that was. We kept telling them, go back home, and it could have been going to home. So it's hard to say.
Run through the zoo.
Oh yeah.
The rhino has run 10 feet with me. He'll get up and go as far as he can.
Yeah.
He could outrun me too.
Yeah, those are scary. One of the first times I decided I wanted to start filming my running is I was running and a deer came up next to me and ran with me for about, I don't know, probably 100 yards. It seemed like forever, but it ran just next to me like parallel for a while. And I was like, I sure wish I had a GoPro to document it. So that was kind of how I got started. So when you get tired, or maybe you don't get tired, but what's your mantra to get to the end? Like this 5K Saturday, how do you either tell yourself to get started if you don't want to do your run that day, or how do you get yourself finished if you are just kind of?
I learned a long time ago, this is not original with me, before I go for a run, I don't do this every time, but sit in a chair without a book or paper, a puzzle, radio, or TV for 10 minutes. And if you go to sleep, you need to rest more than run.
Oh.
So
I've never tried that before.
I used that. Years ago, there was a book called Beyond Jogging, and it's full of mental games to play.
Okay.
If you're dragging, imagine there's a tether on the top of that telephone pole and a T-bar behind you that's just pulling you up the hill. And it's phenomenal, the power the mind has.
Wow.
I hope I've answered your question.
No, that helps a lot. I've never really thought of it like that at all. I mean, I feel like if I'm doing out and back, sometimes I feel like I'm on like a rubber band. I'm trying to pull it out. And then once I get to the end, coming back, then I can go, I feel like I'm sped up. But sometimes it's really hard to pull, that 5 miles out to get, it's just, I mean, once you turn around, then you're like, I don't have to do this again. Or like today was on a track, and I hate running on the track. So I was like, I would eventually think about how many laps I had left, but I couldn't do it at the beginning because it was too many.
one thing I was taught by the athletic director at Jewel, Larry Hamilton, is if you run on the track, be sure you change directions halfway to prevent the outside knee injury, because it gets more torque.
Never thought of that before.
Or the inside knee gets more torque. So we
have to do that.
Be sure to rotate it.
Because I mean, like today I ran at 5:30. There was no one. I saw one other person they ran 2 laps and they were gone. Yeah. So I will have to do that, because that probably is a really good idea. And there's no reason not to. I mean, there's no one else there, and I can run like in 2 or 3 and be just fine. So that's good advice. See, I'm learning a lot.
I also enjoy running in the water.
Like through water?
In the water.
Like in a pool?
In a pool.
Okay.
I was taught that 1 minute of running in a pool is comparable to 3 minutes on the surface, because you have resistance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And if you're up to your armpits, it takes 90% of the pressure off, or weight off of your joints.
Wow. I need a deep pool for that.
You sure would. The Atlantic Ocean is what you need. Yeah.
So I think we talked a little bit about weather. Like, what do you feel about running when it's raining, or not icy, but snowing outside?
Oh, it's so playful.
Yeah.
I feel like a child again. I do enjoy that.
I think you could tell not everyone likes to run in the rain, but most people are like excited about it, especially if they kind of like run all the time, because it is more fun, and it kind of separates the people that really want to be there and not. Yeah. So I like running in the rain. I think I don't like it when it's so like really, really pouring, but I like it when it's steady, and I don't mind even when it's pouring if it's not forever. But
and the socks we have now, you don't get blisters.
Yeah.
Like with the old cotton ones that take 2 steps and you're blistered.
Yeah. So, out of all the races you've done, you can say New York if you want, but what do you feel like is your biggest running accomplishment? You're probably in a race. Let's go in a race.
Biggest accomplishment. I would say the St. George. It's downhill all the way.
Yeah.
But the road is like this. And about mile 18, the outside of this leg, so I ran backwards. I tried everything I could.
Yeah.
So that was a big challenge. It's beautiful. You go by a volcano, you go through a forest, a desert. I highly recommend it. Just be prepared.
But you didn't quit, though.
Oh, no.
Have you ever had to DNF a race?
I have only one time. Because it was so icy that my friend fell, and I thought, I'm going to fall too. And I thought, this is dumb.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say about running? Because I want to talk a little bit about music, because I think.
Oh, okay. I think that about covers it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally could sit here all day probably and film this. So.
Well, you're fun to be with.
Thank you. Yeah. So before we were eating, or I was eating and you were watching me. Sorry about that. I just happened to mention, or I don't even know how we figured out that you were playing in a jazz band.
Oh, you were telling me about your son.
Yeah. So my son and daughter are both in a jazz band. My son is really good. He's a really good trumpet player, and you also play the trumpet. Mm-hmm. So how did you get into music, jazz? Just go through a little bit of your musical journey.
Okay.
And does it relate to running at all? Do you feel like there's a connection, or is it completely?
Well, certainly breathing is involved in both.
Yeah.
With the wind instrument. I was away from playing the trumpet for almost 30 years.
Okay.
Because there's just no place to play.
You thought?
It
sounds like there was a place to play.
And then a friend, a high school friend, was in the Spirit of Independence band, and he invited me to join them. And I've been with them 23 years.
Yeah.
So it's they're like a family.
Yeah.
And then
do you like? And you said you played the trumpet and the
flugelhorn.
Which one do you like better?
It depends on the music.
Okay.
If we're playing symphonies or Sousa marches, I prefer the trumpet.
And I'm asking this specifically for you, Chase, if you ever watch this. What's your favorite jazz song to play on the trumpet?
I enjoy Harlem Nocturne.
Okay.
Like
I'll have to tell him that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. So go back to how you got in, so you got into the Spirit of Independence. Is that what you said it's called?
Yeah.
You got into that. So do you play weekly? Like how what's your like cadence of performances?
The Spirit of Independence band is a year-round band.
Okay.
We practice Monday nights from 7 to 9. We take usually 3 weeks off in August, but we have maybe 6 concerts a year. The Jewel Street Jazz Band, we practice maybe every other week, year-round.
Yeah.
We had a Christmas concert at Corbin Theater in Liberty, and that was our 13th time.
Oh, nice.
Do that.
Nice.
So it's a fun group.
Do you like where else do you perform besides there? Do you play like downtown Kansas City or?
Mainly, I think I told you, Powell Gardens.
Yes.
We played there. This is the Spirit of Independence band.
Okay.
Bingham Wagner, the Strawberry Festival and the Independence, which is a big time.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Well, same thing as running. Do you have a favorite venue that you've played before? It doesn't have to be even at a jazz band, just anywhere you played.
We play on the square in Independence.
Yeah, you like that?
At art fairs, and that's fun.
Yeah.
To watch the people, and when they start doing this kind of thing
Yeah.
with you, it's confirming.
And you said you've seen and been around some really good musicians, right? Like you said that.
Oh yes, the band director of the Independence Band, Jane, is a performing arts major with the tuba.
Okay.
And a lot of professional trumpeters in the Independence Band. I mean, they've played in Newfoundland and Las Vegas. Big time players.
So how does that, is that intimidating to play with people like that?
A long time ago, I gave up making negative self-comparisons.
How'd you do that?
I am who I am. Well,
I need to figure out how to do that.
Well, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
But they're all very supportive. And,
Yeah. What kind of things have they taught you? Like, they're, professional trumpet players. Do they come back with some lesson that you've never thought of, or some new way to play that is kind of
mouthpieces? They really helped me get for my embouchure the right mouthpiece.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good advice. What kind of trumpet do you have?
I have a Bach Stradivarius and silver plated.
Yeah.
And that was very popular. I would say the majority have Bach instruments.
Yeah.
I have a Kahn flugelhorn, which is a very nice one. And but I would say Bach is the most popular.
So you would probably imagine most like high school kids, like my kids are 16 and 17, would like listen to whatever's on here.
Yeah.
But they listen on, because I can hear what they're listening to. They're listening to like jazz and stuff all the time. What kind of advice would you give someone in their age? They're, kind of in the middle of their high school career. Like, would you tell them to keep playing, or like my son was thinking of trying to do like, I don't know if an open mic or whatever the equivalent is. Like, what kind of advice would you give to someone like that age?
I would say get as many different experiences as you can Play as many different venues as you have access to.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone else limit you where you want to play.
So, if I said, Lee, you got to give up one thing for the rest of your life, music or running,
Oh my.
which one would you pick and why?
Oh,
And you don't really have to. Like, no
Yeah.
one's going to hold you to this.
yeah. I went to a master class by the Canadian Brass, and a member in the audience asked, what effect does aging have on the embouchure? And Ron, who's the lead trumpeter, said, research indicates that this muscle group is the last group to be affected by aging.
Okay.
I have a recording of Doc Chatham, a trumpet player, jazz, that was made the day before his 90th birthday. I'm 85, so that gives me hope.
Yeah.
You notice I am evading your question.
I know it was a very mean
diffi-
question.
It would be difficult to give up either.
Okay. I just wondered if you had like one that was more your passion, but it's really both.
No, they're both. Yeah.
Okay. Do you listen to music while you run?
Oh, in my head, I don't.
You don't have
I
headphones?
want to hear the traffic, but I play music in my head.
Yeah. I have the open ear ones that like,
Oh, that's great.
but I can't really do it without it. I mean, that's probably another just thing that I've done ever since, but I can still hear. I don't usually have it very loud, but I need it sometimes to like get through, but I can definitely understand why you wouldn't want to have headphones in. It's sometimes like bicyclists or like, where do you run? Do you train like during the week, or like what do you do Monday through Friday?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do water aerobics and I swim. And there are 3 of us who swim a mile on each other's birthday. Then I have a weight circuit that I go through Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday, Thursday, and either Friday or Saturday, I run or ride my stationary bicycle during the winter. Again, just have to keep moving.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Do you have any races planned after Saturday?
I have listed 16.
Yeah,
That
you're gonna
some good ones coming up. I had melanoma 4 times, and I like to support the outpacing melanoma.
I've done that race before.
Yeah. Oh, they're a quality group.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever been involved in organizing a race?
yeah,
You have?
well, the 15K that we had in Liberty,
Yeah.
that they have mastered it today. It was a headache then.
Yeah.
Just the logistics,
Yeah.
getting the police department, printing bibs, and, it is complicated.
Yeah. So besides the outpacing melanoma, what other races? You were going to say, I thought of that other question. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. The trolley run, I like.
Yeah.
Vision for Children.
Yeah.
The Amy Thompson run.
At Loose Park.
Yes, but they've changed that name.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called either. I just know it's on Memorial Day.
Oh my. Going the Distance or something.
Yeah,
like
that sounds right.
Yeah, I applaud that. Amy attended the first Amy Thompson run. She was in a wheelchair. And then when she passed, her parents apparently thought it was time to change the name.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, I think that would be really hard to like relive that.
I can imagine.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
do you have anything else that I didn't ask you about that you'd like to say, or anything you'd like to say to the people watching?
just keep moving.
Yeah.
Remember, it's a race of one.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that for runners, there is no finish line.
Yeah. That's
just keep going.
yeah.
Well, this has been delightful.
Yeah.
And I want to hear. I've talked too much. I want to hear more about you.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, that's not what this is about. It's all about the other people. I mean, if you watch the other videos, you can like kind of piece together a lot more about me. I'll probably do one. People have asked me like how I'm going to do my own interview. I've kind of thought I might interview myself, or I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm saving it till people stop saying yes.
It'll become a major movie.
Yeah, it's probably, like I told you, you're the 21st, and they're all about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So there's a playlist on YouTube. I mean, you can just go through it all day. So, well, thank you again, Lee, for coming. I'm so glad I got to talk to you. I'm glad, Brad, that you recommended it.
Yeah, thank you, Brad.
Okay. Well, thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you next time.
Good deal.